So, tell me something terrible. We have no announcements this week.
No.
I just wanted to announce that we have no announcements this week.
Okay. Is this what we're going to start with?
Sure.
All right.
Announce that we have no announcements?
Yep.
Okay. We're not taking time off. No new patrons.
Nope.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
You okay there?
I'm just really emotional.
Are you?
No, absolutely not.
You're
I'm
just really emotional about your
100%
allergies? Yeah. I was going to say, you just like huffed the mic. What was that white powder on top of there? You okay over there?
You were like
Better been
eating the mic earlier.
It's called finding my levels. You're not an audio engineer like myself, so you wouldn't get it. Everyone that listens to this podcast, and everybody basically like, he's not a fucking audio engineer. He doesn't even edit these things. I do a little if we need drinks. And then I write it down and just chop it out. But no, I don't add hardly this at all. Video, we do have to edit video.
You're getting a little better at that.
Fucking TikTok and YouTube shorts.
Do it for the content.
Follow us or tell me something terrible everywhere. But if you follow us everywhere, you're going to see the same things everywhere.
That's
anyway,
true.
This is episode 108, correct?
If sure.
You need to know these things.
I no longer number them.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Welcome to episode 108. Yes, it is 108.
All right.
I just need to make sure I'm on the right side of the sticky note.
Oh, yeah. No, 108, I suppose.
Cool. Are you good to start?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
You would hate going through my...
What are you doing?
I'm taking the sticker off my
Okay, can you focus?
can. Yep.
People are listening to a podcast.
All right.
Leave your can alone.
So you would probably really hate going through my Google Drive because it literally now is nonsensical. There's no numbers. There's no nothing. It's...
Can't you just create a folder called like old research and put everything in it, or delete your old research?
I have an email that is specific to...
So what's in your Google
research.
Drive? That's all nonsensical.
That Google Drive.
So why don't you
My
organize
drive is just
it?
docs. Because I would lose it. It would
Just
go
have
out of
an
sight, out of
old
mind. No.
folder. Like every 10 episodes on like on our podcast, like on our computer, I just like combine them because I'm not going to scroll through 108 episodes every time. I have older stuff and
Opposites attract. Just chaotic neutral over
chaos
here.
finds order and order finds chaos. There's some sort of law there.
Sure.
Where's Dr. Malcolm? Is that his name? Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And chaos.
Life
Let me
finds
see your
a way.
hand. I'm going to put some water droplets on there.
No. Are we going to introduce ourselves?
You have to do that first.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
It's going swimmingly so far.
It is.
Yep.
I was literally just waiting and waiting. And then you're like, Dick, are you going to open that can?
Yes, I am going to.
You've been holding that tab for the last 3 minutes.
Stressing you out. I'm very sorry.
It was. Anyway. So topics. Topically speaking. Topical ointment.
So you are well aware by now that the Cuyahoga River. Oh my God.
We were just there like 3 weeks ago and you forgot how to spell it.
I spelled it just fine.
Also, we hung a ton of shit on the walls of this room today. Like, people on camera can see, well, I don't know how it's going to edit out, but we put a giant silver piece of sheet metal up on this wall. And then we hung like fucking 50 things on that wall over there. Something I feel like is going to fall down during this podcast, and we're going to overreact to it. I just want that to be prefaced.
You are a Scottish psychic.
I appreciate that.
You do know. He's like 80% right enough for it to be uncanny. So probably.
I also am the person that hung up everything in this room. So it's more of a testament to my craftsmanship. If this falls, this big fucking sheet metal with the wood frame behind it.
We're done for the night. You're not getting an episode for this week.
It's going to hurt a lot of things. Us, the monitor.
Our favorite board game.
It's going to be chaos. I kind of want it to happen for the content, but I don't want it to happen for like...
That's a really expensive board game.
That's not that expensive a board game. It's old. Anyway, I just want people to be prepared. There's not going to be an earthquake here, but if you hear running and screaming, something fell. And I didn't want to edit it because it's going to be comedic gold. Anyway.
So.
Cuyahoga
River.
That's how you say that.
Yep. Is known as the river that burned the world over.
It didn't burn the world over.
No.
It's known as the world that burned, according to the world.
Yes. It's internationally renowned.
Yes. Renowned.
So, yes.
Infamous, maybe.
So the most well-known fire took place in the summer of 1969, which launched the river into international infamy. And then in 1972, the Clean Water Act was passed. But because context is key and nuance is important, I'm going to tell you the volatile history of the Cuyahoga River.
Okay, I'm going to stand up real quick.
Okay.
And pull my pants up because my butt cheeks are hanging out a little.
No.
And I don't want every TikTok video to have ass cheek in it. Just a second. You can read.
So, mid-1800s, Cleveland was on its way to be a thriving industrial city.
Okay.
Sitting on the banks of the Cuyahoga River that twisted 100 miles, helping to fill Lake Erie.
Okay.
Which then left to the Straits and then out to Canada. And so it was in and into the ocean for international shipping. So it became a pretty big industrial city.
Yep. Water highway.
Yes. So this wound up drawing in industrial tycoons such as Sherwin-Williams,
Painter.
Standard Oil Company,
Oil. I didn't know what to say.
Republican Steel,
Steel.
American Shipbuilding Company,
Boats.
and then other paper mills and steel mills and more shipyards, and making Cleveland the fifth most productive city in the United States.
Okay.
Along with the building up of the industrial sector along the river came the dumping of industrial waste.
Naturally.
Yes, which is a common occurrence across the entire country.
You got to shit where you eat.
Yeah, it's that's the expression.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we have a dining table in our bathroom.
Duh.
Yeah. Efficiency.
So it became routinely accepted that pollution was inevitable and a sign of a strong economy and high productivity and good jobs for everyone.
Okay.
So they were just like, it's fine.
Can you see the sun? We're not working hard enough.
Yeah. So by 1881, Cleveland's own mayor considered the river an open cesspit throughout the center of the city.
Oh, you guys have septic lines? We have a river
Yeah.
full of just shit and nuclear waste.
Yes. Not nuclear waste, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
So the factories...
Industrial waste.
The factories, oil company, and city sewage system regularly dumped waste, both liquid and physical, into the river.
Sweet.
Yep. So because of the crooked and slow nature of the water flow, the pollution and debris from factories and people's assholes would regularly get caught up under bridges.
Just stagnant.
Yeah.
Yummy.
So through the stretch of the river that was dubbed the Industrial Flats, water would take anywhere between 8 to 30 days to flow out the 6-mile stretch through Cleveland and then into Lake Erie.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you imagine?
Nope.
Like, looks like Steve had corn last month.
Ugh.
So, throughout its 150 plus years of industrialization, the river was described as, quote, a scary little thing by a teenager that worked on the river
That's how I describe you all, like October. Aren't you a scary little thing?
Well, thank you. I'm burning inside. So, there was a teenager, I can't remember his name, that worked on the river the
My
year
name's
that
Jeff.
He worked on the river the year that it burned, and he said that there was, quote, a general rule of thumb that if you fell in, God forbid, you would go immediately to the hospital.
Yeah, it's like something out of a Batman movie. Yeah.
Yeah. You fall in and then you come out as the Joker. Mm-hmm. So it was also said that dead rats would occasionally float by with the corpses, quote, so bloated they were practically the size of dogs.
The rats were?
The rats' corpses.
Oh, that's gross.
Yes. So the Cuyahoga River became internationally known as the most polluted river in the world.
Put it on the sign. Welcome to Cuyahoga. We have the grossest river in the world. And we're damn proud.
Yep.
Look at our economy.
That was a nice pun.
What?
It was unintended.
Which one?
Damn proud.
Oh, well.
So naturally, next time just be like, yes.
No,
That was my
no. Most of mine are. That one was
Unintentionally punny?
Yeah, pun intentional.
So naturally, the first time the river caught fire was in 1868.
Okay. I like how first time, like we got a running timeline.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yes, because it happened again in 1883.
Okay.
And again in 1887.
I feel like, okay.
And this was from the, quote, volume of oil in the river. The
It's
Cuyahoga,
probably good for it.
Yeah.
They probably should be doing controlled burns yearly.
On a river?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just burn off all the chemicals.
Yes.
That's probably good.
Release it into the air, all that lead, because that hasn't been a problem.
Hey, don't ask Sherwin-Williams about their paint at this point. What?
I just thought, okay, I make a reference later about lead in the water.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, gasoline. No, the paint too.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys. We've made some questionable decisions.
This is why Ohio's so fucked up. Just kidding. Hey, shout out to all our Ohio listeners.
They've done studies.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of really. We'll get to it actually.
Okay, cool.
Not pertaining to Ohio specifically.
That's why Akron's the Flint of Ohio.
So, oh, too soon.
Is it? Or is it too late?
So when it caught fire in 1887, it was described that it came from, quote, volume of oil in the river that the Cuyahoga was so flammable that if a steamboat captain shoveling glowing coals overboard, the water would erupt in flames.
Nice.
Yes. So this is what
I was
happened
waiting for the
in
mayor
87.
to say it was beautiful.
So there was actually a quote that I was reading from one of the sources, which is a law journal, in case you care. Try to be legit around here. There was like a little section in it where they were talking about the rainbow colors that you never would see on a river, and like how like the pretty black.
Yeah,
that it
like the
was.
oil puddles,
Yes.
or like the air conditioning puddles in a parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Shouldn't look like that.
yeah. It looks like the roast beef at Arby's. Those translucent rainbow colors.
No. So the bulk of this timeline that I'm reading from, I actually found in the article from that law journal that I just referenced from 2003, because you gotta have legitimate sources.
Okay.
Anywho, in 1912, the Standard Oil Company, which is owned by one guess who's the richest family in American history?
The people with the Vanderbilts.
Close, the Rockefellers.
Okay.
Yes. They started Standard Oil Company.
Terrific.
So Standard Oil Company had a leaking cargo ship navigating the river when a stray spark from a passing tugboat caught the river on fire for a fourth time.
Excellent.
So this led to several explosions and even more flames.
This lead.
This was the deadliest fire. It killed 5 men and destroyed several boats.
Okay.
And 10 years later, the year is 1922, in case you're bad at math, it caught fire yet again. So this is number 5.
Okay, you can like set your sundial by this thing. I feel
Yes.
like. Okay.
And it wound up catching fire nearly the same spot as the one a decade before.
That tugboat's just got their captain probably smokes and he's just flicking a cigarette butt. And he's like, "Son of a bitch, you
Out
did
for
it again."
So in 1930, it caught fire a 6th time.
Okay.
And then in 1936, the Cuyahoga burned for 5 days straight.
It seems like a long time for water to burn.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of am a
little bit of a scientist.
scientist, yeah,
Yeah.
but water
Got a general idea of how,
seems like it
things
should
work.
burn. If it does burn, which it shouldn't, should be for a very short period of time, not 5 days. Okay.
So the biggest attempt to stem the flow of sewage and industrial waste into the literal drinking water of Cleveland, there was a $10 fine for dumping oil, but it was rarely enforced.
Okay.
Yep.
That ought to slow them down.
Yes, it should. So now might be a good time to point out that gasoline used to have lead in it,
Yep.
like I said. And there are now modern day studies, of which there are several. One from the National Library of Medicine, the EPA, the National Institute for Environmental Health Sciences, the NIH. Everybody's got studies telling you that there has been a pretty correlated link to an increase in crime through the 1970s and 80s directly from the lead that you have in gasoline and paint and stuff, because it was in the air.
Yeah.
Because it makes you so aggressive. So,
Quick question.
yes.
This is completely unrelated, and I've had a few drinks, hence why it's unrelated. Next week, Saturday,
Yes.
we're going to an Alice in Wonderland thing.
Yes,
right?
we are.
And we are dressing up.
Yes, we are.
Are we going to record the podcast in said costumes and full makeup that night?
I mean, if you want to, we can.
I don't know if you can come up with an Alice in Wonderland crime that quickly.
I mean, I
oh
could.
no, you should do like a Mad Hatter crime.
Oh.
There's got to be a Mad Hatter.
Yeah, there is.
You should do that
That's
one.
next week.
Okay, tune
Look at
in.
us go.
We'll be in full costume, and we might put that whole episode on the YouTube.
Hashtag
Shameless.
teaser Tuesday, because this is coming out on a Tuesday. And also, yes, hashtag shameless plugging.
I was like, sorry, my brain went to like, is there like a thing like only like only the tip Tuesdays? Because that's a terrible trend. Not getting on board with that. I'm just kidding.
If there isn't, there's going to be one now.
Taco Teaser Tuesday.
Oh no.
No?
Stop it. You're
Okay.
getting worse.
Okay, good. Let's just down the rabbit hole. Just need to bring it full Alice in Wonderland circle. All right, as you were.
So let's talk about this depressing lead-filled river.
I was trying to cheer everything up.
So I think we had to take a palate cleanser here.
I saw the hat over there, the Mad Hatter hat. So that's what sparked the thought. Anyway, as you were.
I'm doing so good at that.
So good at that.
Spray paint and
You just you
fabric
pick
from the barn.
costumes for me where you get to put makeup on me. You get some sick joy out of it.
You, first off,
Any
agreed very willingly to and quickly to the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. Because the other choices were
I'm
worse.
so excited.
Anyway.
I know. It just now dawned on me that I do get to put makeup on you, and I'm thrilled.
Okay, good. Remember when we did Beauty and the Beast, and I was the Beast, and I had like full... That was the worst.
Yeah.
Proceed with your story.
Anyway, so the primary concern was maintaining open waters for shipping and not what could be happening to the rivers, the ecosystems, or their literal drinking water.
Okay.
So they wanted... Their biggest concern was like, yes, the river is catching on fire, but it's going to be impeding like boat flow.
So at this point, I assume they're not literally drinking like buckets out of the water, but it's like going off into all the runoffs and everything.
At some point, Cleveland had to move their source for drinking water several miles further into Lake Erie to pump water for the city to avoid drinking what was described as foul-smelling and tasting water.
Okay.
Because where they
At that
were getting
point,
it was right next to where this dumped into Lake Erie.
Have they thought of a well, like a deep, deep well at this point?
Well, they were actually considering, there's lots of reasons, like when this all started getting really bad, to slow it down when they're trying to reverse the damage. They were actually thinking about reversing the flow of the river, like they did to the river that goes into Chicago.
How hard is that to do?
They-
It's got to be hard, right?
They did it to the river that goes
Okay,
through Chicago.
that's fine, but it can't be like easy.
No,
was gonna
it's
say.
got to be insanely hard. There's probably
Yeah.
also a reason why it's not done nowadays, because they're probably like, hey, fish and stuff. Like there's things that live in this water.
Let's fuck up every ecosystem. Yeah. Can you imagine being a deer and you just drink out of a river every day of your life, and you walk up to it one day
And it's going the opposite
It's going
direction.
backwards. That would fuck with your like little deer brain so hard.
Yes, especially if you ate the wrong mushrooms beforehand.
Yeah, or if you're just a fish and you're chilling in a lake your entire life, and all of a sudden you get sucked out of it and you're in Lake Erie.
Yeah.
You're like, the fuck did I do last night?
So newspapers were now reporting on the river fires being a growing problem, but instead of
It's been going on for 50 years. Yes, it's a bit of a problem.
at this point it's like 70 years.
Okay, even better.
Mm-hmm. So instead of focusing on a preventative approach, city officials just started pitching ideas of how to control the fires once they inevitably broke out again.
They were in 1969, they were between Woodstock and Burning River. Yeah. It's a big festival.
It's Burning River instead of is actually the inspiration for Burning Man.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
implied joke.
Yeah.
It was the subtlety of it.
Oh,
But I'm
no,
glad you pointed it out.
I just bull in a china shop to that real bad.
It's okay.
It's a specialty.
My humor's not for everyone.
Or clearly not even for me.
Clearly, have you seen how few listeners we have on this podcast? Our humor's not for everyone.
Hey, the numbers are just gradually going up.
Oh, it's a slow game.
Yeah. So they were trying to think of preventative, approaches like how to clean up the river, reverse the river, all that stuff, so that
Baking soda.
yeah.
Whatever.
Oh no, they weren't even working on that part. Yeah, the baking soda. They were just worried about like throw some flour on it and see what happens.
Let's try to help with the pH here.
So this was to have plans for when fires inevitably
They
break
should have
out
put
again.
asbestos in the river. That would have fixed their problem.
Yeah, it would have. So it wound up catching fire again in 1941
Excellent.
when an oil slick was ignited by some ash, causing $7,500 in damage to an
That was
ore carrier.
ash, not some ass. Some dick.
A little different. Just the tip. Tuesday. So then it caught fire again in 1948.
Okay.
So after
It's like every 6 to 10 years this is happening.
Yeah. So
for a century.
yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's a good 13, I believe, is the count when it's all said and done.
It'd have been funny if we would have taken like a camping lighter, like the long ones, like for a candle, and just tried to light the river on fire when we went there. Just be like, oh, we're good.
Just a bunch of people running out. No!
Yeah. It's gonna blow.
So after WW2, cleanup by local businesses and the Port and Harbor Commission finally started taking river cleanup seriously because dodging fires was a real problem for the ships navigating the river. And
they're not used to it.
Yeah. Well, also...
They're not built to go through fire because they're a boat.
No, yes.
Shocking.
And also, like, if you have a rogue fire on the river, you have to shut down navigation for that while you, like, assess the damage.
Just throw some water on it. Is that not what you do to oil fires? It's weird. They're just out there with big blankets trying to smother water fire.
They've got their local, like... grandma for all the firemen has been working on that same blanket for like 7 years just so eventually they can throw it over.
Yeah, it's a huge quilt.
Sorry. My mind, it just gets just a bunch of little old ladies in their little skirts, just in their moo-moos. So, guidelines for gasoline storage were then put in place, assuming that local factories would comply. And within a few years, all but 2 companies were in compliance with the fire codes. One of which was not Standard Oil Company.
They were one of the 2 that weren't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's the other one?
I don't know. It doesn't mention it. Because in 1952, due to a leaking oil from the Standard Oil Company, which again, Rockefellers, and if you're looking for modern context, it's now owned by Exxon, Chevron, and BP.
Okay.
So, we're doing great.
Cool.
So
we have a rewards card to Exxon.
Yeah. So the
I feel like we're somewhat compliant here.
Well, we don't really have a choice. Like, who else are we gonna go?
It's the only. Yeah, there's 2 gas stations. I'm not going to Fucking Buddies.
And no,
they charged me $7.99 for packing Nutter Butters once, and I've boycotted
them ever since.
Do you remember how mad I was at that? If you don't put a price tag on your family pack size of Nutter Butters, and I go to buy it, and you tell me it's $8 goddamn, I'm never coming back.
Absolutely not.
I know you're.
This was also pre-pandemic.
This was
guys.
like 10 years ago.
Like a long time ago when shit was a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Like, I get your gas station, but get the fuck out of here with your $8 Nutter Butters.
Yeah.
Or not Nutter.
No, they were Nutter Butters.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
were. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking Nutty Bars for a second, but yes, Nutter Butters. Just ridiculous. Anyway. So because of that, we go to Mobile. Literally because of that, I don't go there.
Yeah. I
should go price check their Nutter Butters
just to see because of inflation and the supply chain issues. They're $25 a piece now.
I wish I was better at TikTok because I feel like it'd be fun to shoot a video of me going in there, picking them up, and have like the Western music, like we're in a showdown, like Hold on, I can do it.
Nope, you're smiling.
I can't whistle when I smile.
No.
Can anybody whistle when they smile?
I don't.
I like how everyone's like, you're so happy you whistle. I'm like, have you tried to smile and whistle?
You actually can't. I don't think you can.
Hold on.
Nope, just keep smiling.
Nope, yep, okay. I can whistle it, I promise. I swear to God, I can do the Western whistle. I've been practicing for this moment.
Doth protest too much.
Yes, all right. Go ahead with your story. If all of a sudden you guys hear a whistle in the background...
it's me just making sure his whistle's not
broken.
I'm
going to mean mug this mic for like a minute until I can whistle.
This fucking mic pissing me off.
Right.
Anyway, it caught fire again in 1952 because the Standard Oil Company had a bunch of leaking oil, and they were accused of, quote, the greatest fire hazard in Cleveland because the oil leak that they had left a 2-inch thick oil slick covered Cuyahoga River that spread from bank to bank in some places.
That seems expensive for them to like lose that much oil too.
You know, it's almost like the economics in this capitalistic society has been fucked with so much that it gives a false sense of scarcity.
Okay, that, sure. But also, it would behoove them economically to comply to the, like, standards.
Yeah.
Like, the whatever, environmental standards.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a win-win.
There are no environmental standards at this point.
Okay, but I'm saying even like the whatever it is at this point, a suggestion or whatever they call it.
Yeah, because there's nothing that can
be like
force them to do this. They're just simply being like, "Hey guys, can you maybe please so we don't die?"
Yeah, the cost to fix this leak would probably be less than the amount of oil they're losing. Anyway, proceed. I'm just a logical dude, just spitballing over here. Anyway, go ahead. It's very busy behind you now that we have that wall up.
Is it distracting?
A little bit. Hold on. You keep reading. I'm gonna take a picture for my social media.
So, on November 1st, 1952, the largest fire in Cuyahoga history engulfed the river, ignited by a spark from a passing overhead train near a shipyard, resulting in a, quote, 5-alarm fire. The fire caused anywhere between...
Or does that mean... Okay, anyway.
5 alarm.
5 alarm. What is that? Like 5 different fire departments show up?
No, they didn't really go into detail. I'm assuming 5 alarm is just the expression of like, hey guys, we need to get this under control 10 seconds ago because the whole city is going to burn and everybody's going to die if we don't do something about it kind of fire.
Okay. 5 alarm fire.
Mm-hmm. So this caused anywhere between...
The seriousness.
Yes. This caused anywhere between $500,000 to $1.3 million in damages.
In 1950 still?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money.
Yes, because it took out an entire bridge.
Oh, those aren't cheap. Mm-mm. Cool.
So luckily...
The Mothman.
They needed the Mothman.
Yes. They don't blame the Mothman is all.
Oh, this is the 50s. He's not here yet.
Bruno is the Mothman. That's all this is.
Yes.
We
don't talk about Bruno.
That's a deep Encanto cut in case you don't have kids. Or kid.
So luckily, no one died in this fire, though, since it happened on a Saturday afternoon. So no one was working in the shipyard that took the brunt of the damage.
Oh, because this is the 50s before everyone worked on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man, it's like history keeps repeating itself. Pretty sure we had a bunch of strikes about trying to get like 5-day work weeks and stuff, like way back in like, the 1800s.
Don't get all mopey on me. Finish up here.
So
don't go off that deep end.
This was the largest fire, and that caused the most damage. Mm-hmm. And this is where the most infamous photos of the Cuyahoga River fires come from.
Okay.
So it was these photos that were then used in the Times magazine.
New York?
No, just Time magazine.
Oh, Time
and
magazine.
National Geographics.
Okay.
They made. They wrote an article when it burned in 1969, and they used the photos from 1952 in it.
Okay.
Because when the river caught in 1969, it lasted only 20 to 30 minutes, and nobody got any pictures of it because they were just
Gotcha.
took care of it.
Yep.
So substantial
flash in the pan.
Yes.
Just burned too hot and too fast.
Yes. So substantial effort to get the river cleaned up started after the 1952 fire. Cleveland was losing manufacturing jobs, and people were fleeing the city in droves to avoid the constant stream of pollution, not just in the air or but like the water in the river, but in the air too. Mm-hmm. Like I was reading a bit where they were talking about people that were living in town moved out to the suburbs, and if they were working for the steel companies, they had 2 cars. Nice family car, shitty car they drove to work because they knew that the shitty car that they were going to drive to work was just going to be a beater that was going to get run down because the air pollution was so bad.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that it was affecting cars.
The car? Like the outside of a car?
Mm-hmm. And it was more cost efficient for them just to drive clunkers to work.
Huh. Okay. Yep. I mean, we kind of still do that today, but it's more of a fuel efficient clunker to work and then like a nice car to not drive to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when the river caught on fire again, it was actually cleaner than it was nearly 2 decades earlier.
See? Controlled burn.
Yep. So it's because they had started cleaning it out. Yeah. All those burns kept just reducing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So across the country, people started realizing just how important, just how much we were poisoning ourselves when newspapers began reporting on all the other major cities' rivers also catching on fire.
We need some aqueducts.
Yeah, we do. So
Rome built those in a day, I've heard.
I still don't think that's the expression.
I think it was the Etruscans, but anyway.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Places that caught on fire were the Baltimore Harbor that happened in the 1920s.
You say Baltimore?
Baltimore Harbor.
Okay. You said it funny. I was just making sure you said Baltimore.
In the 1920s. And then the Buffalo River in the 1960s.
Okay.
And we also had repeated fires on the Rogue River in Detroit.
Okay.
Michigan needed to get in on that action.
Or was it the Rouge River?
Ooh, the Nain Rouge River.
So
it is Rouge River.
Is it?
Rogue. The U goes on the other side of the G in Rogue. I should read these out loud before we do the podcast.
I like not knowing these fun details. It's good to
So
the Rouge.
the Nain Rouge River also caught several times.
Yes. Okay. A lot of East Coast rivers here.
And both of them are off of Lake Erie.
Well, 2 out of the 4. There's the Buffalo one off of Lake Erie.
The Buffalo River only caught once.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not really certain where Buffalo is.
New York.
I'm aware. And I think it's on the western part of New York.
They could be going into Ontario, Lake Ontario.
Could be.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway, it's all Michigan's fault.
I don't know
It's all
about
the-
that.
it's all the Great Lakes.
It seems like it's a lot of Ohio's fault here. When they're shit river.
So the city had also just passed a millage to start a $100 million project to clean up the river in 1968.
Please tell me they called it the millage for the spillage.
They needed a marketing team.
That's so easy. Is that not the first thing that comes to your brain? This isn't that long after the Thrilla and Vanilla for Muhammad Ali. Come on. The millage for the spillage?
Yeah.
That's got to happen.
So if we ever have, river-wide pollutions, again, we'll keep that in our back pocket.
Okay, good.
So just so people can appreciate you.
Yeah.
So Cleveland had also elected a mirror.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the dirtiest river of them all?
You can also tell that we're super Midwest because apparently we're one of the very few places that pronounce it mirror instead of mirror. We just smush it into one syllable.
I think I say mirror.
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 Anyway.
I say mirror. It's bad. I'm so Midwestern it hurts.
Like the cat? Is that a meerkat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those aren't cats, but close.
A meerkat? But still, that's that's an animal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You can really see yourself in one?
I hate you so much. Anyway, Cleveland had elected a mayor who was thrusted to national attention after the 1969 fire, taking full advantage of the last fire to bring awareness to the waterways and how it was affecting the urban living environment.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things going on. Kind of.
It's a big climax.
Yeah, a big climax.
A big climate climax.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're past the climax now. The earth needs cuddled.
Sometimes I need to be told. That's a terrible joke.
So approximately 12 p.m. on June 22nd, 1969.
June 22nd? Okay.
June 22nd, another spark from an overpassing train ignited an oil-covered pile of debris trapped below 2 wooden trestles under a train bridge near Campbell Road. In case you give a shit. Exactly where it's at.
Hyper-specific, yes.
Look, if you want to visit...
It's the spot under a log, under an oil, under a... Okay.
Okay.
Yep, sparks.
The flames reached over 5 stories tall. And
That's tall.
Yeah. The fire only lasted 20 to 30 minutes and was put out so quickly the media didn't even have a time.
Those old ladies in their quilt.
Yeah.
Got you, bitch.
Just like that. Yeah. The little walkers as they're giggling as they walk away.
Yeah. I've seen 74 of these fires in my time. Not today.
So it was put out really quickly. There was no time to get any...
Document it?
Yeah, there's no documentation. No one even managed to get a photo of it. It only did around $50,000 in damage, most of which was from the destruction of a railway bridge and some damage to another bridge's trestles. So It was just a little blip.
Yep.
It did make it into the local newspaper, and all was quiet. A former firefighter that fought the blaze said it, quote, wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, it's just a normal river fire.
Yep. It's been, 17 years since the last one. No big deal, guys.
It's a long time for us.
So it stayed quiet until Time magazine got a hold of the story and used it to highlight the ever-growing water pollution problem in this country. And Cleveland had to bear the brunt of it.
And then they used the old photos.
Yeah, they used the old photos. Time described the Cuyahoga as, quote, chocolate brown, oily, bubbling with subsurface gases. It oozes rather than flows.
That's what happens after Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Just the tip, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
So the Cuyahoga was legally...
That's what happens when they brought back the Mexican pizza at Taco Bell. Sorry.
So the Cuyahoga was legally proclaimed a dead river.
You.
Yep. Nothing was living in it.
You have a dead sea. We have a dead river.
Yep.
Yeah.
One's naturally a dead sea, and the other one...
We made it.
We
Look at us.
our own tourist attraction.
Yeah.
So nothing was living in it. There were no fish. There were no bugs. There was no algae. There was literally nothing. No plants. nothing. And nothing had been living in it for over a century.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
So, the last burning of the Cuyahoga...
Except those giant bloated rats.
They were even dead.
I know.
There was a quote, too, from someone who described it that if you did fall in, no, you wouldn't drown, you would decay.
How many bodies were taken from Chicago to that river?
Probably a bunch.
Can you imagine? Like, that's
It's
a pretty
smart.
good place to throw one.
No one's going to see it.
Fuck, no one's going in there.
How many those fires do you think were started by the mob?
Yeah, right? They throw a body in, throw a cigarette in.
Whoops, it was totally a train.
Later, Tater. Yeah.
The guys on the tugboats are paid by the mob.
A tugboat, just nowadays, that seems like some weird, like, sex cruise. I'm not going on a tugboat.
Absolutely not.
Sorry. Just when you said that, like, the third time, I was like, I feel like tugboats kind of could have a different meaning.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're on board.
Yep.
Not literally on board a tugboat.
But you understood. What you're spreading.
Good.
So, the last burning of the Cuyahoga is frequently now currently touted. Just slaughtered that. The last burning of the
is currently now currently touted. Okay.
The last burning of the Cuyahoga is now touted as the inspiration for the Clean Water Act of 1972. But really, it just caught fire at the right time as industrialization was starting to slow down and environmental awareness was starting to peak. And the pair that with the national coverage of the fire with an insane photo of 50-foot flames on a river, and then, you know...
Bring some eyes.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the recently elected mayor of Cleveland, who is taking full advantage of this opportunity to try to get federal change to help the waterways.
He wanted money.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he needed the money because
help,
people were leaving the city, so you had less tax dollars.
That's true.
And he also was trying to prove the point that we can't do this.
When did they make it a national park?
I don't know.
It's only been a national park for like 50 years.
I don't remember. They're trying to bring it all back.
Yeah.
But people were leaving the city, so there's less tax dollars. And then also he pointed out the fact that, like, yes, most of it's coming from us, but there's also farms and runoff and all these things. Like, I can't help what the other 90 miles of a river is doing by the time it gets to us. Mm-hmm. We need to have some sort of federal oversight because it's everybody's problem. It's not just one city's.
Cuyahoga Valley became a national park in 1974.
Wow.
So 5 years after the last burning.
Yeah. Did you know the first Earth Day wasn't until 1972?
Nope.
Yeah. Or maybe 73? Yeah, it came after they did all the Clean Air and Clean Water Acts and stuff like that. Yeah. It took us that long to be like, hey, we should probably take care of this.
I feel like on Earth Day, it should be like a national holiday and no one should drive on Earth Day. Like the road should be empty on Earth Day. We should give Earth a day.
Yes, I think that sounds wonderful. Like how moms get spa days.
Yeah, we should do it in like the spring, like maybe like late April. Everyone gets a day off. Everyone turns off everything in their house.
What day?
Yeah, it's in April.
Yeah, it is in late April.
That's the whole point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was unsure. I just assumed you really didn't know what day
like
it was.
4:20-ish?
Ish, yes.
So this is the plan. Nobody drives anywhere. You shut off your air conditioner, every light in your house.
And we know it can happen because we just did it for months, guys. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Nobody drives. You shut off your main breaker at your house. It's 4:20. If you want to do other stuff, go for it. That's fine. But we just give Earth a day where nobody does anything that hurts it. Just for one day.
Yeah.
I think we could do that. Pull it together. Let's make it a thing.
Yes.
Hashtag Earth Day.
I think that one's taken.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think of another.
No. We just need to rebrand Earth Day.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to mail. I'm gonna hashtag tweet at someone who's in charge.
Good
I'm going up the food chain.
So anyway,
I want cops on bicycles pulling people over who try to drive on Earth Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Shoot out their tires. No, shoot out their fucking tires. You can shoot a gun on Earth Day. I don't care. Do that. You want to go shoot a gun on Earth Day? Fine. Whatever. Just not into the ground. It's Earth's Day.
Maybe don't use lead bullets. We could start there. That'd be a good place to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we really give a shit about the Earth, guys.
Just for a day.
Just for one fucking day. She doesn't want to do our laundry for one day. Doesn't want to feed us for one day. None of that.
You don't get to do any of that that day. Can you imagine how much laundry you get done the next day? Spikes in the bills.
And yeah, it would completely defeat the purpose. Anyway, Carl Stokes,
Yeah.
that's the mayor,
Okay.
the mayor. He was trying to get federal funding because, like I said, it's everybody's problem. It's not just him. And that there was...
It's good that he's not stoking the fire.
No. He stoked it a little bit because the next day after the fire, he did a local press tour to do a pollution tour. He literally called it the pollution tour.
It's like
and they had local newspapers come out.
It's an episode of Cribs, and he's just showing off his sludgy, bubbly, shitty river. Hey guys, come on in. You want to see the garage? I got 17 cars in this shitty fucking river. We're super proud of it. I got a moat in my town. You don't want to go in it. We don't have crocodiles. There's literally nothing in there. Nothing's alive in there.
And if you fall in, no
you're
promises.
dead too. Yeah. That's a drawbridge. Surprise.
10 points. So he also was using this as an opportunity to push for, obviously federal regulations, something to actually hold giant corporations responsible for dumping, a little bit more than a $10 fine. And to set up a more conclusive, efficient efforts of river cleaning that could be funded by the federal government. Like, for example, not a local man named Frank who converted his fishing boat into a skimming boat, naming it the Putzfrau, which is the cleaning lady in German.
I was going to say that sounds German.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he equipped his boat with...
His Putzfrau.
His Putzfrau. He equipped it with a giant hose to suck up debris from the river's surface.
Okay, hold on. We got to just circle back.
Is he to pause?
I don't know shit about German language, okay? I'm cleaning lady.
Cleaning lady.
Which one's which?
Frau is lady.
So Putz is
It
cleaning?
must be.
Frau is lady?
Fry?
No.
No. Yes, because oh, come on. International Man of Mystery, Austin Powers.
Okay, yeah.
When he has his second hand lady is always Frau.
Yeah.
Like her name is
Okay,
Frau.
yeah,
Her
yeah.
name is literally lady.
So Putz Frau is cleaning lady?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's
I don't
all
know.
one word.
Putz Frau.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
So the cleaning lady and Frank would go out on the river and use a giant hose to suck up debris from the river surface.
His name's short for Frankenfurter.
Frankenstein. So he would pull out everything from... What's up?
You just
Okay.
said he would pull out, and then you long paused the shit out of it. Frank, he would pull out. Waiting. What? No, I'm gonna start to giggle if you hard pause after. Oh, he would pull out. Cool, good job, Frank.
Good on you. So really helping with that population
He'd pull out
control.
when he was with his cleaning lady.
Yes. So Frank would pull out, quote,
So I've heard.
everything from balls to...
It's getting better. You're doing great. Okay.
park benches
Okay. Pull it together.
and screen doors.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, good. No, we're good.
So Mayor Stokes
Yep.
was touted as being ahead of his time, vying for not only water improvement but overall reduction of all types of pollution, and highlighted the fact that like inner city areas where mostly poor communities were at were being adversely affected.
Oh, we gave
So
Frank a key to the city
I hope so too.
for pulling out balls out of his cleaning lady.
So anyway,
Okay, yep. Yep.
the Clean Water Act was passed,
Okay.
and the river is starting to take a turn. Things are coming back. You see bald eagles. There's great herons. There are even people that will still... we saw people like canoeing and stuff on the river.
Yeah, and their canoes weren't getting eaten away.
No. So, anyway, August 25th, 2020, a tanker car collision in Akron spilled burning fuel into a storm sewer that spilled into the river and setting it ablaze one more time.
Really?
Yeah. 2020 was a rough year.
God, everything. Yeah. They had a good streak. What was that like?
The last one was
51
in
years?
69. Yeah,
51 years? Come on. Stupid tanker. Frank pulls out his, what was it?
He had to pull
his Putzfrau?
Putzfrau
Out of retirement.
out of the old garage, dusted her off, and was like,
Yeah.
let's
pull
some out.
Let's pull out one more time.
So, anyway, even though the Cuyahoga is slowly returning back to life with more than 40 types of fish returning to the river and a thriving insect population.
Most of them have 4 eyes, but they're doing great. Yeah, we saw the bugs.
Yeah, we did. There's still a lot of cleaning up to do. According to testing done by the EPA in 2018, the Cuyahoga is still teeming with dangerously high levels of viruses, bacteria, and parasites, including, but not limited to, Salmonella, Clostridium, enterovirus, and Giardia.
Oh, okay.
And hepatitis A.
All the fecal fun.
Yep.
Those are all fecal, like, transmitted diseases.
Fun.
I don't know about that. Mm-hmm. Wait, what were you say they were?
Salmonella, Clostridium,
Yep.
enteroviruses, which is what they thought I had when I was actively dying in the hospital, and turns out it was just sepsis.
Yep.
Giardia, and hepatitis A.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Every single one of them a stool.
I mean, yeah, it can be.
Fun.
Yeah.
Good old modern day cesspit.
If you had Campy in there, we'd hit all the bases.
So you can.
Oh, and E. coli 0157. That's
the one who almost killed me.
That's another pathogen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's E. coli 0157. It's E. coli.
It was E. coli. I don't know because they told me I should have gone to an infectious disease doctor, and I didn't.
Anyway.
So.
Nailed it.
Good old American health
And you've had
system.
nothing but issues since.
No, I'm pretty sure I had celiac disease my whole life. Like, looking back, like, I had back pain. They couldn't figure out what my deal was, and I got diagnosed with GERD when I was like 22. Like, no,
Yeah.
I've had all of this stuff for a while. It just got worse after that. Anyway, nowadays you can definitely go kayaking and paddleboarding and such along the river, but if you don't want to, there's a pretty bomb train ride you can take.
There is. And it's got like an activity room for children.
Yes.
I just realized.
Yes.
I was going to put a hat on because we were recording this visually. I look like the tall guy, the tall robber from Home Alone. I feel like I have his hair going on today.
Yeah, it is very big.
So these are going to be fun videos.
Great.
I'm going to look like a crazy person.
All right.
Just giggling my ass off about Putzfrau. Great. Good content.
And hashtag just the Tip Taco Tuesday.
Yes. Yep. I need to schedule that video for Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the story of it burning.
Okay.
Now we know the why the water sucks.
Yep.
Maybe don't stick your hands in.
I mean, Big J, Jamie, he told us don't go in the water. And we were like, we're not playing on it. He's like, no, you literally can't. And now I know why. It's just still...
The teeming cesspit.
It's still sewage, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not stinky.
Yeah.
It doesn't have this... It just has the bacteria. I'm sure that because of the years of dumping everything that they've dumped in there, and the fact that, like, good bacteria and stuff like that was completely wiped out. It's literally just, like, what happens when you take an excessive amount of, like, antibiotics.
It needs some prebiotic.
Yeah.
Let's put some Greek yogurt in the river.
And see what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help. Do you have sources?
There's probably probably such a established colony of all of these things that this just been impossible to
they
kill
don't,
it all.
and they don't want to put antibiotics in the river.
Yeah. They used to do that shit too. Do you know that way back in like the 70s and 80s and shit, when they shipped boxes of like your dead chickens, like once your meat was like cut up and everything, they would ship it in antibacterial water, like they added antibiotics to the water in shipping.
That seems like poor choice.
Yeah, there's a reason why we have things like MRSA and stuff.
Yep.
Anyway.
Sources.
Yep.
Hit me with your sources.
NPS.gov and entries about the Cuyahoga.
Deadpan. NPS.
OhioHistoryCentral.org, Cuyahoga River Fire, Distillations Podcast, Episode 241, The Myth of the Cuyahoga River Fire, SmithsonianMagazine.com, the Cuyahoga River caught fire at least a dozen times, but no one cared until 1969, and then that Frodham Environmental Journal, Law Journal, and an allgeo.org article, The Cuyahoga River Burned Today for the first time in 51 years.
Fun.
And those are the sources. And that was our very off-the-rails episode.
It was a bit here and there. But
We've calmed down now.
Well, and no one died direct, like
There
people,
were 5 people that directly died.
Okay, but
Yeah.
people I'm sure have had a lot of health issues
Yeah,
since.
we can look across the whole country though and
But
see that.
yeah, but there wasn't like you describing people like getting their neck stomped on this episode. So I feel like we made some improvements.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, I just
Next
have been,
episode.
I what was it? Episode 107? I don't think we actually have video for. We didn't record that one visually. But
No, you girls at the beginning are really bad.
but the episode before that, the Circleville jerk, I've been going over that video. It's like, man, that was fucking rough.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening. If you made it this far,
Congratulations.
you must love river fires and bad jokes.
Good on you.
We're here for it.
Whatever makes you happy.
And I'm pumping my... I don't know why I was doing that.
Because you're sleepy and tired and drunk and...
You're right. We should go
Hungry.
take a nap for like the next 8 hours.
That sounds great. I think there's a word for that already, but nap works too.
Let's not distinguish them. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We have a board up now. If you have a sticker for anything you do, send it to us. We'll put it on the board.
Yeah, we will.
We're going to put it... Hey, look. There's a Cuyahoga River National Park magnet on the
Hey,
board.
that's that bomb train you can take.
It is. Anyway, so we're going to put stuff up there.
Yep.
Up there.
Up there.
That was for the camera.
For the content.
For the content. Anyway,
right.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Oh, snap. Before next week, there'll be a bonus pod. If you're a patron, you know who you are. And if you're not, go be one.
Oh, sir, you got 5 days.
And then we'll know who you are. Don't pressure me.
Okay, sorry.
What's today? Oh, shit, there's only 30 days this month. God, I hate 30-day months. Okay. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Research.
Yay.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye. Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.